One of the important parts of Tokusatsu is giants and megazords, since that is what Tokusatsu is all about. One day the producer of Cosmic Fury said that Power Rangers will be successful if they move away from Tokusatsu, and we all think that is a mistake. One of the things that Power Rangers fans love are the Zords, and we always have that curiosity of how the Zords of each new team will look like. It is for this reason that we were all so disappointed in the 2017 movie, as those Zords had a terrible design despite having a good CGI. One of the things that was being talked about in the rumors of the plans for the first reboot with Netflix was that supposedly the Rangers were not going to have Zords, and from this topic we got a lot of theories. If this rumor had been true, then it is likely that they wanted to eliminate the Zords due to the high cost involved in creating them, and perhaps this is why they wanted to get that big weight off their shoulders. We can even think as a theory that maybe the cancellation of that first reboot was to have ideas like that and maybe other crazier ideas. The reality is that separating Power Rangers from Tokusatsu is crazy, and we know that this idea was thinking of all those people who are not used to seeing giant fights. We all know that Power Rangers must reach a wider audience if they want to lift the franchise, and obviously all of this new audience are not Power Rangers fans, but this doesn't mean that they can't understand Tokusatsu. In one of the episodes of the Marvel animated series, they gave us an entire episode with some elements of Tokusatsu, and this has a lot of meaning. Marvel is a franchise that, despite sometimes doing lousy things, the reality is that they always have a plan for almost everything. This franchise recognizes that Tokusatsu is a format that has a lot of fans, so possibly the problem is not Tokusatsu. The one element of Tokusatsu that Power Rangers should abandon is repetitive episodes, and they should move in the same style that Transformers has. This giant robot franchise has many Tokusatsu-like elements, and although it is not categorized as Tokusatsu, the reality is that the resemblance is obvious. Now we come to the key point in this whole conversation, and that is that the company that is creating the Transformers movies is Paramount. Hasbro and Paramount have been working together for a long time, since Hasbro are the owners and Paramount are the creators of the movies. It is for this reason that I have long told you several times that it made the most sense for Paramount to take over the reboot, and now we are seeing that Hasbro is taking this path. Paramount has already created giant robots, taken a franchise that was only seen by fans, and is now a franchise that has reached different audiences that have never seen Transformers before. Exactly this is what Power Rangers needs, and while many Transformers fans have said that they have changed some things from the original series, new fans know nothing about it. In the case of Power Rangers, it's a little different because, being a reboot, then the new writers have the opportunity to create something totally new and different. This means that they have a great deal of freedom, but they can't take a path where they abandon the core things of the franchise. One of these things is the Zords, as this is a fundamental part of Power Rangers, and this is why it was so important how much of an impact the 2017 designs had. I am sure that if those designs had been spectacular, it is very likely that fans would have forgotten about many other negative things that happened in that movie. Even in the 1995 movie, the CGI of the Zords was terrible, but because the design of every Zord was perfect, fans didn't care about the CGI. It goes to show that even though the CGI is important, it's really the design that's most important. Sometimes producers want to try really modern things, but there are times when the simplest thing is the best thing that works. Is it really that complicated to create an animal in the style of a giant robot? In the special 30th anniversary episode, they created the old Zords with the modern CGI, and they looked amazing. This was the combination of great design and modern technology. As much as we all love those Zords, the reality is that that design doesn't work for a universe aimed at a more mature audience, so the Rangers need Zords that look fiercer and more realistic. Paramount's new Zords should have a bit of Transformers flair, but they should still look like Power Rangers style Zords. We must remember that the Megazords are very similar to the Transformers, so they must be careful not to create confusion in the audience. We still don't know the theme that the new team will have, Even we don't know if that team will have any theme since the 2017 team didn't have a completely defined theme. This is a key thing for the design of the Zord since, if the theme is animals, then the design can be something more concrete and possibly easier to achieve. The reality is that the best Zord designs in the franchise have been animal themed, and although many fans no longer want these themes to be used, the reality is that it wouldn't be a bad idea to be able to see excellent designs without falling into the 2017 mistake. With artificial intelligence technology, we have created many designs for Zords using animal theming, and I want to introduce you to some of these designs. We must remember that these designs are unrealistic and possibly almost impossible to realize in CGI, but this is part of the beginning of an idea. We see this polar bear for the Zord, the White Ranger, a perfect animal to be a Zord as it is strong and fierce. The polar bear is an animal that does not give up easily and is the biggest bear of all. In this design we can see that it keeps its animal shape, but it also has a robotic look, and at the same time it seems to have personality. Because he is a Zord that has been in many battles, his skin is full of scratches and marks from all the battles he has had. This is a very realistic detail that they should add to the new Zords, a technique they also use in Transformers. Next is the Blue Ranger Zord, a giant rhino, a powerful animal that commands a lot of respect. The skin of this animal is very tough, so one of the characteristics this Zord should have is that its metallic skin should be very tough as well. The next Zord is the Yellow Ranger Cheetah, and this is another very skilled wild animal. The cheetah is one of the fastest animals that exists in the world. This means that, if a cheetah selects you as its prey, then you no longer have a choice. In this design we can see that almost all the physical characteristics of the cheetah are maintained and only has some important details that make it a living robot. The next Zord is the Black Bull and would obviously be the Black Ranger Zord. The bull is known to be an animal that is not afraid of fights and will always keep fighting at all times. This design is quite simple in the face part, but the body has a lot of robotic details. One of the most impressive things about this design is that it looks like a real bull and not just a robot. The next Zord is the Red Gorilla, a Zord that we also had in the 1995 movie. This animal is well known for always fighting to protect his family and for being a great leader in the herd. This is the same thing a Red Ranger should do, protect his team and always be a great leader. This design is a little different from the others, and that is that his body looks quite similar to the Ranger costumes. The last Zord is the Lioness of the Pink Ranger, and we all know that this animal is always very wild. The lioness always works as a team, and in this way they manage to catch their prey. In this design we can see all the metallic parts, and the pink color gives it a very modern style. These are some designs that we hope to see with the new Zords, and it is simple to see them in a photo, but if we see them moving in a movie it will be completely different. Write in the comments your favorite Zord, like this video and subscribe for more Power Rangers Zords.